Hey guys, it's Paul from Alexander Knife Sharpener Laser Engraving. So I am jumping in here and re-editing a video that I had completely shot, but I found some things that I wanted to tell you guys about, and a couple cool things that are coming out in another video. That is why I'm just bringing this up. So in this video, I'm doing a repair to a really small pocket knife, but I wanted to talk to you guys about this buck tool here. So Buck Tool has been a pretty cool company to deal with and collaborate with and work with over the years. One thing they did a few years ago, they called me and they asked about what I would want to see in a sharpener, in a 1x30 made to be a sharpener. And that was when they came out with their low speed sharpener just a few months after we had that conversation. And it was really cool. The only thing they didn't do that I had wished they did was they didn't make it go both directions. They made it a low speed grinder, and I kind of said that it should be either low speed. And the one thing I asked for that they didn't do was they made it only one direction. Still, a great entry level 1x30 for sharpening. We also talked about 2x42s, which was really cool, and they had seen what I did to this particular buck tool. And what was really awesome at the time was I called them up and I told them what I was doing, that I was like literally gonna, kind of chop this thing apart, and I needed a second angle guide. I needed a piece to be able to make the parts that I wanted, and they literally for free sent me the parts, which I thought was really cool of them to do that. They sent me an additional angle guide and some other things. Why I'm talking to you right now about this is because they just came out with two new 2x42s that if I was in the market for a 2x42, if I didn't have this one that I built, I absolutely would be buying one, because it's pretty much what I built right here. It has a similar style motor to it. It's variable speed, so you don't have this, what I did here with the coupling and all this stuff. You don't even got to do that anymore. Just get one of their new units. I will put the link in the description of this video so you can see. So it's just like this, no motor in the middle. It's got a nice brushless motor that's variable speed. I do not believe it goes both ways, but that doesn't really matter with 2x42, especially if you're setting it up flat, because you can come in and you can just work from the opposite angle, which is what most people do. If, not everybody makes a machine like I did where it will go both directions. If they want to go the other direction, they just go to the other side of the 2x42. Now, I will show you one other cool thing I want to show you. This is a 3D printed part angle guide for a 2x42. And look at this. It's got an on-off magnet. It will slide right where the platen goes. All I got to do, turn on the magnet. This magnet's 90 pounds of force hold, and that will not go anywhere. Now this particular one was made to be a 15-degree angle, and it's just fantastic. So just wanted to show you that because there are some really cool things. I am hoping that KFMK takes my recommendation to make a angle guide for 2x42s. Would be very nice if they did that. I'm hoping they do, but even if they don't, there's some very cool things that you can do, like this right here, this 3D printed version one, which I love, and I also love with a twist of a magnet, I can get it off of there. Now, the only thing with this, if I want a different angle, I just have to print one with a different angle. The magnet costs about, I think it was in the $30 range. I'll make sure I list it in there, and I will send you guys the link to this. Free 3D print. Now this print, I did not design this print. Somebody else designed this. This is not my design. This is just something that I happened to print and wanted to share with you if you have 2x42s. But I will say this, go look at these new buck tools. They are really impressive, and I love what they did there. So I just wanted to share that with you. We got two new 2x42s. I would not go through what I went through to make this. I would just buy one of their new ones because it's pretty much this without having the hassles of building it yourself. Here's a fun little penknife that came in. Its tip was completely broken off. I got it all tuned back up. I have not sharpened it yet. All I did was polish it. I ground the spine down to create a new tip, but we are going to sharpen this on the Tormek. I'm going to show you my own jig that I built for doing really small knives, and I love doing these on the Tormek. I don't use the Tormek small knife jig. Never been a fan. I built my own, and I'm much happier with the one that I made. And whenever I have something like this, this is generally how I like to do it. This is my own jig that I built. So this is the jig I built. This is simply a, what do they call it? That's a drill stop collar. I did get this piece of aluminum made. I used to make this myself back in the day. I used this actually on a completely different product. It was a thing that was made for photography. But basically, I have had people that have copied this and made this out of a screw, this part. And I don't know, I'm even considering maybe trying to 3D print something for the handle part of this. And the rest of it's really basic. I mean, you can see there's a nut in there. And the crazy thing is, I think that's a 732 nut. Fit exactly in between there. It was like just one of those freak things that just fit. And this clamp, believe it or not, was originally made for the Work Sharp Precision Elite Sharpener, like version 1. The one that was like mostly plastic, which I do have around here somewhere if you guys know what I'm talking about. The problem I had, though, was the reason I never got into selling them was because this part that I needed was made in the Ukraine. And then the war broke out and you couldn't get it. And for the longest time, I never saw it. Now, it also wasn't inexpensive. It was not a cheap part. This whole front part here, I think I got it on sale back then, and I think I paid like $30 for it. And it's probably like $40 today, who knows. There's really nothing to it, but I will say this. It was worth every penny. If you guys knew how many tiny knives, pocket knives, little Boy Scout knives, like, you know, the little teeny tiny knife that's sometimes in a Boy Scout knife, this will do it. The little tiny knife that will be inside of Swiss Army knives, I have sharpened with this jig. It's really a phenomenal jig. If I can find the link to this front part up here, I mean, there's, you guys, you know, a little bit of creativity, you could build this part back here. Unfortunately, I don't have them anymore. There was a time when I had a big bag of these things, of the rod part, but I no longer have them. And when I moved, I misplaced them somewhere. But if I find them, I will let you guys know. But I actually think I might try and do some type of 3D print for this rear part. Would be kind of cool. All right, just wanted to share that with you and give you a little better look at the jig. And I'm just going to grab... All right, a small bit of breaking news. I've been working hard behind the scenes. I actually had 2 different videos on the small knife jig, and I did get inspired and said, you know what? I'm going to go make this jig. We've been talking about it enough for years. I'm going to find out if the parts are still available. The clamp is still available. I 3D printed the part for this. I tested it. It's working great. It's going to be available for free. So stay tuned for a more in-depth video tomorrow on that. But just know that's what's coming. I did decide to go ahead and make that 3D printed part available that you will be able to print for yourselves and make this jig if you want to build your own small knife jig. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. Just wanted to give you that news. I just need an Allen key. Okay. So same rules apply here. Even though it's super tiny, we still want to go that angle from the tip to the point. If we had a straight line, and that looks good there, I'm going to go right at the end of that flat. Now I can't use my Tormek angle setter on this. It's just too small. Wasn't designed for something like this. But that's okay. That's what the Sharpie trick's for. So we're just going to draw on this bevel. And that's how we're going to find our proper angle. I'm going to bring my angle guide over. We got to drop this way down. Way down. There we go. But you'll see, well, that was a little too much. Went a little overboard there. Let's take a look and see how that is. Oh, that's pretty close. Yeah, that might be good right where we're at. Yeah, I think I'm going to start right here. I might make adjustments as I go on, but we'll be starting right where we are at the moment. And all I did there was I used the Sharpie trick because I can't use the Tormek angle setter on there. You can see where I drug the stone across it, and I'm kind of happy with that. So I feel a burr down here at the tip, and that looks good. This knife does have a little bit of a shape to it, and down here it still needs a little more grinding. So I'm just going to work on that area down here because I don't want to remove any more from the tip than necessary. See if we can get that burr. Yep, feel it there. Might need, yeah, it needs a teeny tiny bit here. Right at the end. Yeah, it's not quite there yet. We're close. Yeah, and that's pretty good. That looks good to me. Give you a peek. All right, now we're going to do the other side. And same thing here. I'm going to grind till I feel a burr, since we are pretty much kind of reprofiling this whole knife here. I don't know the story of this, but I get the feeling it belonged to somebody or was important to somebody, and that was why they wanted to repair it. It's a Schrade, you know, it's not an expensive knife for sure. It's just one of the little baby pocket knives, but my dad carried something like this his whole life. He had this little teeny tiny pocket knife he always would pull out, especially when he was eating like an orange. He would pull out this little pocket knife and had a blade even smaller and skinnier than this one that he would cut it with. And I have a fond memory of him always having that little pen knife with him. Honestly, I don't know whatever happened to it. I didn't see it in any of his stuff after he passed, and we went to his house and cleaned out his stuff. I thought it would be in his drawer or attached to his keys, but it was always in his pocket. But He was 90 when he finally passed. He might have lost it at some point, but as a kid, I always remember him pulling that one pocket knife out. I lost like almost half of my pocket knives as a kid. Somehow my dad managed to keep one for like the majority of his life. I do have his Boy Scout knife. I do have my dad's Boy Scout knife. Now I'm just evening this out a little bit here. And I think we're good there. I probably won't take this above the next stone. This is 600. This won't need to go to 1200. But I never understood why Tormek wanted to put a jig in a jig to do their... I have the small knife jig. I just have never liked it. It feels so awkward to me when you could just have a small jig. Works totally fine. I don't know why they don't build something like I made here. And then people will be like, well, why don't you make them? And if you want to know the story behind this jig, I had thought about making them. I even had this part because it was a part for something else that I made. And the reason I never really got into making them was because this part here came from the Ukraine. And I couldn't get it for a long time. I do think it's available now. It's been a while since I checked on it. But that was probably the main reason why I never bothered. Was that I couldn't get that part that I needed. I'll have to get with my boy Baz in Australia. He's sending me this new jig that he designed. I should show him this. We should figure out a way to 3D print something. In fact, like the part that I think that he 3D printed in the back here, if we had something like this in the front, would probably be amazing. Oh, that feels good. That feels real good. We haven't honed nothing, but I'm not taking this up any higher. It doesn't need it. It's a pocket knife. 600's fine. I'm gonna pull it out. We will strop it, do a little cut test, and I'll show you. Nothing special here. It's my regular leather strap with purple abrasive from Renegade. Yeah, that feels great. Hey, buddy. There's a shop dog. That's Fredo, guys. He's getting up there. He's like 15. You can see he's not moving real fast, but he's hanging in there. That's my buddy. He's with me all day long. Follows me everywhere I go. All right, just doing a little clean off. I see a tiny bit of Sharpie on the blade, so I'm hitting it with some isopropyl alcohol because I want to get that Sharpie off. It's a little tiny bit of Sharpie showing through there. I think it's Sharpie. I don't think it I don't think it's compound. Yeah, it's gone. And I did a little radial disc polishing on this, so it came out pretty nice. Didn't get every single solitary scratch out, but compared to what it looked like when it came in, It's looking pretty good. I think they'll be thrilled with it. I don't know if this is being passed on to a kid or something like that. Also, not an uncommon thing. Let's check its cutting. Oh yeah, cutting beautifully. All right, that is done. I will let the client know. They can come get their restored tip and freshly sharpened little Schrade pocket knife. I'm going to look for the picture. I should have taken a picture of its before. I forgot to, but I think the client sent me one.